Okay. So in a sense, we're all ambiverts. All of us have an introvert side of our personality. All of us have an extrovert side to our personality. And one of the things that a type indicator helped me with personally when I learned about it, and helps many people with, is understanding how those different bits of us work. Now, for myself, as someone for an introvert, I mentioned before my whole type was INTP. And if you look at how that works, that means that the thing I really like to do inside my head is something called introverted thinking. So, left to my own devices, I spend a lot of my time just quietly thinking things through and especially making decisions inside my head. So, if in here, inside my skull, is where I think, yeah, let's do that. Whereas someone with extroverted thinking, you'd hear them say that. Now, for me, I've made that decision inside my head, and that does sometimes annoy my partner because I'll say, we're doing this, and she'll say, hang on, we didn't talk about that. And I realize I've decided it inside my head without any reference to anybody. And one of the things that type has helped me with is actually understanding how that works. But I do have an extrovert side. And if you look at the way the MBTI works, one of the letters in my type formula is N for intuition. And I tend to do that externally. I tend to do that with people. So I really like brainstorming, for example. I really like those sorts of discussions and ideas and possibilities. And I find it easier to do that when I'm with people, when I'm connecting with the world. And when I learned about type, this made sense for me when I thought back to my school days. So when I was doing something like physics homework or math homework, where I had to work things out, I can see you didn't. That struck a chord with you, Melissa, because your face is contorting as I said math. And even though I'm British, I remember to say math, not maths. But anyway, when I was doing that sort of homework, what I found I was doing, I would just sit there quietly with my book and write and working things out. Because that's using the stuff I do inside my head and making decisions in a logical way, introverted thinking. But when I had to do creative writing, I found I couldn't sit still. I had to get up and walk around, maybe go and talk to somebody, certainly get on my feet, walk around, have ideas, and I still do this now. If I'm trying to work out something new or different to say, even if I'm not with people, I have to get up and walk up and down the corridor just to have some connection with the outside world. And I realize now that's because that part of my personality, the intuition, the ideas, the possibilities, for me is extroverted. I do that in the outside world better. So even though I'm an introvert, when I need to do anything creative, it's good for me to connect with the world. Whereas when I make logical decisions, I'm very happy to sit there and do things by myself. Now, I'm an introvert, I have an introversion preference, so given the chance, I'll spend much more time doing that logical stuff and the creative stuff, but I still have that side to me, and for me, that part of me is extroverted. And that's a slightly long-winded way of saying, actually, in one sense, we're all ambiverts. In another sense, there's no such thing as an ambivert, because we all have our preference for introversion or extroversion, and that means we tend to do some things in an extroverted way and some things in an introverted way, depending on the other parts of our MBTI type. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. With your type preferences, what people see is the feeling side. They see that connection with people. They see that need for harmony. What they don't see is, and I'm guessing here, but hopefully this works for you, the whirling mass of possibilities and ideas whirling around inside your head. And often people with your type preferences, with that introverted intuition, often say, it's a pity they didn't have a bigger mouth because there's all these ideas and possibilities and only a small hole to let them out.